Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Wiseburn Unified School Board meeting. My name is Neil Goldman. I'm the Vice President sitting in for Roger Banuelos, who could not be here tonight, nor could Michelle on personal matters. So we wish them well. And you have a skinny crew here tonight. So nice to see everybody and welcome. To begin our meeting, Wendy, would you take roll call, please?
Ms. Cappy. Present. Mr. Martinez.
Present.
Dr. Goldman.
Present.
Mr. Banuelos and Ms. Legaspi are absent.
Thank you, Wendy. Let's now move to the Pledge of Allegiance. Steve, would you be so kind?
Yeah. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody. This is our second meeting of the month and should be a rather brief meeting as far as our meetings go, but not with unimportant things. So we will move to the adoption of the agenda. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda, please?
Second.
Thank you very much. We're going to see a lot of that happening tonight. And Rebecca. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it 3-0 passes. Do we have any public comments, Wendy?
I do not have any public comments.
Not on the agenda.
That are not, oh yes, not agendized. Not agenda items. Tony, anything? You wouldn't see that either. All right, no comments. I guess we move right into board member reports. Becca, I'll turn to you.
Sure. Good evening, everyone. So I attended the LA County Schools Trustees Association meeting in person in Paramount on Monday night. It was really interesting. It was great. There were about 20 school districts across LA County that were represented there. Roger and I are Wiseburn's reps for that, and he couldn't make it in person, so I went for us. And I just wanted to share back a couple of the things that they talked about. So the first thing was they had the red cards from the Immigrant Legal Resource Center there for folks to hand out. And I know that we've received some of those in our district. They are designed to help people assert their rights and defend themselves in the case that they encounter federal agents, in particular their home or things like that. But I know they're being distributed by LACO, and I've heard that we have received some of them here in the district. And I just want to make sure that I understand how we're distributing them and where folks can access them should they need it. Having access to those Know Your Rights resources, I think at a time like this is particularly important. The LA County Office of Immigration Affairs has a number of resources on their website. Just want to make sure that we're doing that. So that was the first thing. Relatedly, we heard several legislative updates. There's a Coast to Coast coming up, which is a lobbying visit in Washington, D.C. for across California. It's coming up I believe in April. And so I don't know that any of us are attending, but just keeping track of what's happening there, making sure that we're, engaged. There's a lot of things happening in Washington that affect schools and education. And so it's great that's occurring. And then similarly in CSBA, the California School Board Association is having their legislative advocacy week in March. And I can get the exact dates, but I think it would be good. I think there are issues that for us that are relevant on what they're doing. So we should consider it's a virtual thing. So school board members can participate virtually. A couple bills that they talked about at the meeting, and I also attended a separate meeting after the last LACSTA meeting about this, is AB 49 and SB 48. They're both pending legislation in Sacramento that would essentially codify the Supreme Court decision in Plyler versus Doe, which guaranteed that all children have a right to a free public education regardless of their immigration status. As we know, the federal administration has repeatedly vowed to carry out, quote unquote, the largest deportation in American history, and is consequently, I think, threatening this right and deportation and California's educational promise to its students. These bills would restrict local educational agencies, LEAs, and local law enforcement agencies from cooperating with federal immigration enforcement officers on or near school grounds, providing additional protection for students and families to attend school safely. So there's some lobbying that's happening around that, advocacy work that's happening from both school board members around the state, but also local representatives. Senator Lena Gonzalez is the sponsor of the SB 48, and Al Morzzacci is a sponsor of AB 49. So just bringing those pieces back. And then the bulk of the meeting was spent talking about inclusive curriculum adoption processes. In particular, they focused on math adoptions. And so I know we just did our math adoption last year. The thing that was, I thought, particularly interesting about this was the idea that even when you go through the adoption process, that English learners, you end up having to purchase a bunch of supplemental materials because the whatever thing you've adopted doesn't fully account for those families. And I know that I had heard that from at least one parent when we were going through the adoption process last year, that potentially the materials weren't very accessible for non-native English speakers. So I am curious to know how it's going with the implementation of Eureka Math Squared, whether we've had any feedback either from teachers or parents about the accessibility of materials to EL students.
And parents and
Yeah.
families in general.
Right, exactly. Yeah, but yes, so I was happy that, I got to share a bit about that we had gone through the adoption and that we had what we were doing to support math in our district, which was great. So it was a lovely evening. Got to hear from the mariachi band that they have in Paramount Unified, and a bunch of students played. I love hearing our students play music, so that was great. And then the last thing I'll share is that I was happy to attend the middle school's open house last night. I got to go around and visit the classrooms. I have a sixth grader, but I got to visit mostly the seventh and eighth grade classrooms and go and see what's to come. But it was nice to see families on campus, fifth grade families, other kids checking out the school and just getting to experience all the wonderful things that we have going on in our classrooms, and making like origami butterflies and bucket lists for yourself and your kids and all kinds of things. So it was a lovely evening. So that's it.
Thank you, Rebecca. Nelson?
Thank you, Neil. Just one quick item for me. Both Roger and I had an opportunity to attend the CASH conference this past week. CASH stands for the Coalition of Adequate School Housing Organization that supports infrastructure and facilities for schools throughout the state of California. Some challenging, interesting times for school facilities. Few things that are taking place is obviously there's a lot of construction cost escalation. So very uncertain because of a myriad of factors, and not only just mega projects now with possible tariffs and so forth. So it's going to really be difficult for schools to really get a hold of their estimates, right, for a lot of the construction projects. So that's one of the challenges that is taking place. But the other challenge right now, and you'll probably see it across the state, is that many school districts are starting to announce some layoffs and school closure facilities and so forth. So these are things that are all going to impact the way we approach facilities in the school business. So just wanted to share that. That was really a theme of the conference. So a lot of the classes, their sessions were, how do you navigate a master plan through declining enrollment and so forth. So part of the challenge, but and not right now. I think we're fine here at Weisberg, but just something to be aware of. That's it for me.
Thank you, Nelson. Some comments from me. Couple of things. Cybersecurity continues to be a concern with fraud everywhere. I work in the banking business, which is replete with this problematic. Tony, I'm looking to you and Dr. Silvers to suggest that you've been sending updates. We've been sending updates to the teachers. I appreciate that. I think we might be I would suggest we look at phishing tests to bring alertness to our teachers. And also I've seen some of our clients using screens that pop up as you turn on with reminders that are on the screen. This is just such a great risk for everybody. The human, we can put all the security in the world, but if people get a hell of our passcodes, it's open game. So just food for thought. Also, from our 2x2 meetings with Da Vinci, had the pleasure of doing what I said I would do and attend the Da Vinci board meeting. I know there's Da Vinci folks here tonight. Thank you for you guys being here. I wasn't able to attend in person, but I could watch online. Kudos to the meeting. My big takeaway was that it's being held in the Mona Lisa room. I came tonight to say to Blake, let's invite them to use this room. He told me that conversation's already been in works. So I would think that'd be a win-win for everybody, and have a bigger, nicer space to play in, and want that opportunity for you. Also in that meeting, Laura Schaefer was sworn in as their newest board member. Congratulations to her. We look forward to working together. One other thing I wanted to mention to Blake and the team was that at the board level, we don't see directly what's happening with the staff and the teachers, nor is it necessarily appropriate because it should kind of come up through the channels. But that doesn't mean we don't want to hear and aren't interested in hearing. So I'm suggesting that we have a survey to the staff, to the board, to the teachers in an ongoing iterative way, year after year, that gives us a sense and you a sense and a voice and a channel anonymously, so we all can be on the same page with what's going on. So we've had some conversation, Blake and I independently. I wanted to publicly share that this is something I'm encouraging, and I believe there's some efforts to this effect for everybody to have a voice. So that's in process, as I understand it. The most fun thing at the board meeting at Da Vinci last night was watching the student reports, and kudos to the representatives from all the schools for doing that. So nice to see. That does it for me. Why don't we move to the mathematics update, the district leadership reports, and superintendent's reports, and I'll turn it over to you, Dr. Silvers.
Just Maggie tonight.
Yeah, it's just me. I've got math and everything.
You're doing all of it. You're gonna cover all
I'm gonna cover the entire district.
All right.
All right.
No,
Fair.
I won't cover, because we've got a lot.
So
of
settle
things
in,
happening.
people.
Yeah, exactly. We've got a lot of things happening at services, so I'll just cover what's happening over here. So mathematics update, very excited. We are hosting our first mini conference on March 7th, in both of our math TOSAs, math specialist and math TOSA over at the middle school are going to be doing a session on playing with mathematics, like how to integrate play into your classrooms, both, from TK through 8th grade. And we have 41 of our own Wiseburn teachers that are already registered for their events. So we've scheduled all of these events coming through. So this is a very, very popular session. So I'm very excited to see kind of what the next steps are after this of, our teachers reaching out to our coaches for even more ways to integrate play into their classroom. So this is an exciting time. March 7th is right around the day. We've been planning this for a couple of different months. I want to give a big shout out to Robin and Dee Dee, who I've met with. And this is all based on feedback that we've been receiving from administrators, from our teachers, from surveys that we've been giving out on the different sessions that we have going on. So we have 32 different sessions. We have 170 attendees. So not just our own staff, we do have some local educators from our local districts, Manhattan Beach, Lawndale, and beyond, that will be attending as well. We have 20 presenters coming, and just a variety of different topics. So it's such a great way for us to gauge where our staff is at. So they get to choose some of the development that they're going to be doing, and they can go ahead and utilize in their own classroom. So I'm really excited
Like
about
at the
this
beginning
big
of the South Bay Symposium. Or
we'll
something.
see.
It's pretty
We'll
exciting.
see. It's really exciting. There's a buzz. So I can't wait to see the
Wow.
feedback that we receive from it, to see how this is going to build upon. I've already, been in talks with the PE department over at the middle school with what their story might look like next year. So it's a pretty exciting time. And then we had our second ELA committee meeting this week. We met and we looked at our three. We've actually narrowed down. There's a reading difficulty screener that's coming our way next year in kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade. We eliminated the 4 that the CDE put out down to 3, and really kind of dug down deep into an hour session with each of those components to see what is going to be the best fit for us at Wiseburn. We actually had friends from Culver City and Manhattan Beach, as well as the West Side SELPA join us in those meetings with the groups. And then from there, we moved to the afternoon session, because all of our teachers on this committee have piloted iReady. And so we had some time with iReady on our next steps with iReady as the pilot, and learned about that, and then walked away with a homework assignment of kind of reaching out to our teams to see, we're just doing a needs assessment in ELA, and where are we at with structured literacy, and what are our needs for our students and our staff together. So we'll be coming back together and sharing that information with you guys in the next couple of meetings. So lots of things happening over in Ed Services.
That
And
ELA,
then our our educational partners meeting is next week, also the day before, and the LCAP survey is getting ready to close. So we've got some doors closing to get feedback to us all on.
the ELA work that you guys are doing, that include looking at accelerated reader?
So we're looking at our tools right now. And so, yes, I mean, that's gonna be part of our needs assessment. You know, is that a tool is working for our community? And so that's definitely been a topic of conversation. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Meg.
Yeah.
Good stuff. That's not coming up. It's Friday.
It's Friday.
Yeah, next week.
Friday.
It's next
Next
Yeah,
Friday.
I
Yeah,
can
next
see
Friday.
it.
All right. Dr. Silvers?
Did you do everybody's?
Yeah.
I know, just.
Just a couple things for me. Had an opportunity on Tuesday night to join the Holly Glen Neighborhood Association for their annual, they do a once a year, and that's annual, right? An annual update.
Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
Thanks, I just clearing it up, yeah. They had the chief show up, which was nice, or actually it was Captain Eric Lane from Hawthorne Police Department show up, and there were some concerns that came out related to safety, traffic, even ingress and egress to school. You know, obviously we have kids walking, and just this idea of Holly Glen, the area of Holly Glen, with Holly Glen Elementary School, Aviation, and the middle school is so close, and so it gets really congested and compacted during certain times of the day. And for some, you know, for unfortunate reasons, cars just still speed through there, and we've been working and working and working. I mean, I've submitted, you know, 2-3 times to the city to try and get some speed mitigation there. It's part of the weird policy in Hawthorne that the superintendent has to submit this letter. It hasn't gotten us anywhere yet because we don't have any, but we still keep trying to push that. There's a gentleman, I won't use his name, he probably doesn't want me to say his name, but there's a gentleman who's really helping lead this push. And then also the president, Jen Houston, has been supportive of that as well. So just trying to figure out ways to shine light on this with the city so that maybe we can get some speed mitigation there and really try and slow down
This is
traffic.
Hawthorne City.
It would be the city of.
Was there any conversation from the homeowners and the residents to approach the city?
Yes, they have. We have. I say, you know, collectively they've gone to meetings, but we're pushing through that process.
Glad we're doing it, but whatever ammunition you can bring.
Absolutely. I mean, yes, it won't be the district. It won't be, you know, Blake alone that's going to be able to do that. It's going to need a community group. I mean, we absolutely need some mobility behind it. People need to understand, or the city actually, the council needs to see that it's really impactful to people. So working on some of those things, but all in all, it was a really nice evening to be able to hear, you know, the police, and just a kudos to the Hawthorne Police Department, just for being the professional, supportive police department that they are, and being able to hear that presentation was really awesome. Being able to talk to Captain Lane prior to is just really nice. Their perspective on schools is just really trying to protect the schools, the surrounding neighborhoods of the schools, and the communication with us at the district has been really top notch. So anyway, hats off there. And they got to share a little bit about our facilities upgrades that we're doing. For a lot of these folks, it may not be directly connected to the schools, and so they don't get our monthly emails, or they haven't signed up yet, or it didn't get forwarded to them. So their ability to be able to come in and ask questions. There's a lot of buzz about the 135th and Aviation sports complex, you know, so that was probably, I would say that was the shining light of the night, being able to sort of unveil some of those renderings and also be able to ask questions. There's questions about lights, there's questions about community use, not like open use, right? Not just, you know, an AYSO team or a Little League program, but also is it going to ever be open just for green space? And so obviously we're not recommending anything yet, but just sharing that was some of the feedback that we received. It's coming,
Do we
right?
have anything on our website that's an FAQ or any information that's accessible to the public?
So we have an update, facilities update page that has it. I'll look at it to see how detailed it is. I know Erica's been working on, we have talked
And
about
you
it
know the
last week.
questions you heard that.
Correct, yes. So about lights and all that, yes, we have not, no. So in that regard, no, we have not created a more proactive FAQ list, but certainly we can look at that. Also wanted to share, had an opportunity to attend
Come on, man.
This year I wasn't gonna do
I
that.
just said the
It's
middle
in my
school.
blood. Dana's in my blood. Wiseburn Middle School. Wiseburn Middle School, formerly known as Winterim Open House. They sort of kicked off the open house season. I think aviation's next week. So just a nice opportunity to walk around to see the teachers. Unfortunately, didn't get through all the rooms. I try and make it a point, but I know me and Rebecca got to walk around yesterday. So it was really nice seeing the community and seeing the teachers, and just a really, really good showing from our teachers and the kids. Just everybody was so excited, the students and their parents. It's a nice event. So just my hats off to them. On the note of the 135th and Aviation Field, we are looking at the grand open, or not the grand open, I'm sorry, the groundbreaking, which will be about a half hour to 45-minute event. It's going to take place on March 27th. And 3:30 is the start time. I think we had discussed that it's on a board meeting night, just trying to capture time that you're already sort of, I mean, I know it's additional time, but try and make it in a block that you're already knowing there's a board meeting that night. And it's Dodger opening day. Yeah, that's right. May need to postpone that. And so anyway, really excited about that grand opening, and really or the groundbreaking, and much more excited about actually seeing some progress on that site. It's going to line up really well for the Da Vinci softball season, because it'll be done in December. So we'll be able to kind of line up with that, and see what other field work we can do, after that. And just there's some repairs
That
across.
is a 2025 goal project.
It is.
Exciting.
Noemi said for sure it's going to get done in 2025.
You said July, but we're not gonna hold her. to it.
Exactly.
I'm still confident.
August 12th. Also, wanted to share a real,
Winter.
yeah, right.
That's right. It's season, not date.
Wanted to share a really happy update. Our own Marissa Larson is being recognized tonight. Unfortunately, we're not there because we're here. But it was the Community Advisory Committee. Hope I got that right. Through the SELPA, Rebecca was our representative before she assumed the role on the board. But Marissa was just an excellent special educator, and just a really awesome addition to the district. Kim Jones is there. That's why she's not here. So she's there celebrating, and just really nice to see our teacher and our professionals get recognized in this way. So just really happy to share that with the board tonight. And I know I sent that in my update as well. I'm done. That's all I have today. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Silvers. We will now move to 7.1 from the public on items on the agenda. Do we have any comments or thoughts from the public? Just trying to move us along here, people, I guess. Okay. So let's move.
I forgot something in my thing. I just wanted to acknowledge the resiliency project that all of the fourth graders just finished the completion of at Aviation and at Del Air with their Dodger Stadium trip, learning about Jackie Robinson and stuff. That started as a WEF teacher grant many years ago when I was on the WEF board, from Maddie Scar, fourth grade teacher at Aviation. And I'm really excited to see that project has now grown. That's the whole point, right, of the WEF teacher grants, is that they start as an innovative idea from one of our teachers, and then it's grown to now include all of our fourth graders. So I know I have a fourth grader this year, so he was really excited about that trip, and all of them were. So kudos to all the teachers who are participating in that. I think it's a really bright spot for our district that we provide that kind of extra learning for folks.
Perfect.
Yeah. Anyways.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Dr. Goldman, I forgot something as well.
Good, because I'm going to do it too.
You want to start, or you want me to start?
No. Go to you.
The only reason I actually didn't forget, but it's going to come down later in the agenda, and so I was going to say it then, but just in the event that we push through some of these items, I wanted to highlight item 8.10, 8.10. It's the Avadex upgrade to the multipurpose room. Really excited about this. The board actually approved back in January, I think it was about 39, so about $40,000. And this is to upgrade the multipurpose room, new projector that's actually going to work and be strong enough, and I guess, at the middle school. to be strong enough it's just going to be a nice projector. It's going to be, it's going to be a little bit more flexible, new screen, just things that needed to be upgraded. We're also doing some sound. But more importantly, more pressing probably is going to be the microphone system and actually the audio system that's going to be in there. We actually, the initial quote for $39,874.15 only had a handful of mics and just 4 newsies, which we're really excited about the play coming up, as well as Miss Ablisser's doing some performances as well to have the ability to use these wireless mics. I guess you call them like lapel mics in the sense, right? Yeah. And just got off the phone earlier this afternoon with Willis Chang from WEF, and they are committing just over $37,000 to the district as part of that project. So really, really nice partnership from WEF. I want to give a huge thank you to the WEF leadership team, to Willis and Aaron and Ann. And I won't keep going and listing people because I'll forget people, but I just want to thank them because this is such a good addition to that NPR. It's going to be amazing to see Newsies in there now and really any musical performances that we have down the road. So Tony, hats off to Tony for helping us pull that together. And we think we changed it probably about 3 times. So a little bit of patience and flexibility there too. So thanks to WEF. Thank you, Tony. Thanks to the team. Looking forward to seeing Newsies. Yeah.
Great.
Thanks to everyone who contributes to WEF that
Yeah,
allows us to
absolutely.
do that
Makes a
too.
difference.
Yeah. Thanks.
As long as we're on that theme, just anybody who is familiar with and love for musicals, Grease for Da Vinci is coming up on the 8th, I believe, and at least one other performance. I don't know if you can,
2 consecutive weekends.
2 consecutive weekends, this weekend and next weekend. Pretty exciting. And also to my comments about using this room, I think that may have come across the line. If Da Vinci wants to use the room, I mean, let's clarify that. If you have interest, I would have interest. We haven't talked about that, but I would have interest in that. So just make that available. We should never make it, that's your choice. All right, let's move on to consent items and 8.1. Before we do that, are there any items that anyone wishes to pull that we would discuss separately? And I would pull 8.6. Is there anything else anyone would want to pull on the consent agenda? So can I have a motion excluding 8.6?
Yes, you have a motion. Well, you have a motion for 8.1 excluding 8.6.
Well said, sir.
Second.
Thank you very much. All right, all in favor?
So,
Oh, good comment?
Yeah, no, just for the order. Sir, I think that, are we pulling 8.6 with the goal of not passing?
No, with the goal of
So
conversation.
can we take 8.1 to 8.10 as the consent agenda and see if we can answer your question in the discussion?
Sure.
And then pass them
Yeah,
on.
okay, thank you.
Yep.
So
I will-
let's amend that and
I
restate it.
will revise my motion and I will motion 8.1, which takes.
Takes the whole agenda.
8, 2 through 10. Thank you for clarity.
Second.
And-
All right, now
And you
discussion.
have a comment.
Yeah, the only, on 8.6 was, this was on the purchase orders, and we have $12,000 that says Chase statements.
Yes.
And I don't know what $12,000 would spend on statements for Chase.
It's a credit card.
Yeah.
You want to answer?
Yeah, it's the, we were playing catch up on we have moved on to what's called a Cal card. And so Sean could explain that better, but that is a school district credit card that we are now using. We are trying to clear out what was a Chase credit card that had all of the past charges on it, and we were behind.
These are small items that would have been itemized. We wouldn't have even seen them because they're such small numbers. They just became the larger number and they were not specified with great specificity,
Right.
which we wouldn't have seen anyway. So I'm okay with that. Any other comments or questions on any of these items?
No.
All in favor of 8.1, which covers 8.2 through 10? Aye. Passes 3-0. Thank you. Let's move to 9.1, receive the board policies for second reading and adoption. This was read first at our last board meeting, and this is the adoption meeting with second reading.
You have a motion.
Second.
All in-
Master of the Jeopardy ones.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all right. 9.2, settlement agreement for OAH case number 20241000756.
You have a motion.
Second.
Any comments or questions? All in favor? Aye. Nelson?
Aye.
Oh, thank you. I didn't hear
Did I
that.
not say it? Sorry, my apologies.
You thought it. It's good. 9.3,
You have a motion. This is for the comprehensive school safety plans.
Thank you.
Second.
We should make a comment about this. This was arduous, tremendous work, and appreciation goes to all of the school site councils, to the administrators, to everybody who played a role in these. I do have a question overall on these. Actually, there were two questions. One was, do we have, we've talked about this in the past, this is our emergency preparedness effectively in some regards. Do we have bulleted lists or flip books or something on site? Because
Something less than 180 pages.
yeah, I mean, it's just such a massive document. It's not, in an emergency, I'm gonna look for page 367 and, come on.
So what we do, we take it and we actually just hang the whole book.
You good.
No, we don't do that. So kind of, which we do have flip books in the classrooms, but we are, Nisha and I were talking today, we are looking at revisiting those again, because one of the things that we were in the process of doing, and I think probably in Jason, when he left, we just never picked that ball up, which was creating a cover sheet to that, which because one of the things missing is like what happens in the case of like who to call in the case of emergency.
Right.
So if you have, obviously, like we all know 911, but if it's a electrical issue, like who do you call? A gas issue, who do you call? If somebody's there and a principal's not there, the office isn't there to be able to make the call, like how do you do that? So we are putting together one pager that will go into the front. And we're also going to we're going to re-edit those binders, or it's a flip book that does hang, actually. It's not a joint, it's by event, right? So it's like it's staggered. It's color coded. There you go. And so you could flip through it. So we do have those. They're easy to use. We just need to make sure that they're updated. And part of it too is like we don't do a good enough job of drilling them, at least as a district. And if you don't use the tool when you need to use the tool, it's not instinctive. So we need to do that. That was part of our conversation, just to put that as part of our drill planning as we move into the next school year, is to have some drills where we're referring to those hanging flip charts as well as having that front page. So we're doing some upgrading. But yes, but to these, let me just speak to these. Can I just to pivot a little bit to these? There's the two pieces of this that are so important, which is the reflecting and goal setting on the components. So there's two components to these documents that you set goals, kind of SMART goals with the site council and your safety teams related to the physical plant. So the site safety itself, which is, do you have potholes, tripping hazards? Are there things blocking? So I remember there was a couple years you have to go through the closets and make sure things are clean, that you can access the roof, that type of thing. Graffiti. Sometimes at the middle school you get some vandalism of sorts, and just wanted to do that. Obviously, like camera systems, which we just upgraded, so it probably wouldn't be in these, but that would be something. It's like how you're managing camera systems, and then you have like school connectedness, right? And that's how do you provide a connected environment where students feel safe and secure, and they feel like they can connect to adults and students. There's some programs that we have for that, but also, so that would be in the goal setting for that. So one's the physical space and the other is kind of the social emotional piece of it. So we are, so that's in there as well. So that's a more of the laborious part, but anyway, that was my clarity.
Truly a living document, because we continue to expand it, I think, each year, and I think we've added the instructional continuity plan this year. I think also too, I think there's a new section, Blake, the immigration enforcement response.
Yes.
I think that's also for, okay. Which I think is good, so people understand clearly what to do, yeah.
Any comments?
No, just kudos to all of the school site councils and the leadership of the school sites for developing it. I know I did serve on the school site council at the Holly Glen for a couple of years, and it is a tedious process, but a necessary one. And I'm glad that we're doing it. And I did also find it interesting to see just some of the differences amongst the school sites about their responses and that sort of thing.
And I should say too, that this does get sent to the Hawthorne Police Department, to the sheriff, to the LA County Fire. We are LA County Fire District wide, just so that, so they could look at it, take a, and then basically it's part of the submission process that we've shared it with our local partners.
I know that those hanging books, what are they called again?
Like flip charts.
Flip charts, flip books, whatever, are the go-to. In this case, though, if it were somebody wanted to look at this in an urgency, hyperlinks would help. So if we could add hyperlinks to the document, you click on it and get there,
Oh,
that would be
yeah.
helpful. It's a Word doc, I think, that's easy enough to do. Because it is 100 and something pages.
Oh,
Yeah, yes, exactly. I got it. Yeah, definitely over one page. All right, we've talked about that.
Mhm.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great, thank you. That was 9.3. Moving to facilities, item 10.1 amendment number 05 to agreement for transitional kindergarten at Del Air Elementary School, the conversion project with Measure EE bond funds for Corgan architectural design.
You have a motion.
Thank you.
You have a second, and I think I have a question.
Please.
So, my understanding from this amendment is that this was triggered by the solar panel project. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so,
It was an
Push the
oversight
button, the button.
sorry.
Oh, they have mics over here, sorry.
Okay, yes, that is correct. It was triggered by the solar EV charging stations and battery storage system, not the carport portion, but the separate A number that is currently in construction.
so my next question then would be, was this an oversight on this particular project? Or are we gonna see this coming down on our other school projects?
It's an oversight by the DSA reviewer
Right,
on this particular project. They actually missed it on the Del Air TK project, which, as you know, completed last summer, but it's still under closeout process. And because it's still under closeout, they missed it under that particular project. So they're making Corgan, the architect of record for the Del Air TK, to issue a construction change directive to add those modifications that they missed.
okay,
Is it going to be something that happens down the road? Potentially, it's hard to say.
yeah,
We argued on both ends, on the Corgan side and on the Site Logic
yeah.
engineering side. But at the end of the day, if it's an ADA path of travel, there's really nothing that you can
Right.
do.
So do you think we'll see this at Holly Glen, Wiseburn Aviation? Because we did the same
The
project.
same
there.
field reviewer has come out and visited all sites, and Del Air was the only site that,
Perfect,
correct.
perfect.
So I don't expect any of the solar projects to
trigger
continue to trigger any additional ones. But down the road, who knows what can happen with other projects?
Yeah, at least right now with the ongoing unit.
Correct.
Okay, perfect.
You know, as long as we're on the solar
Yes,
time, we're expecting that to be live soon.
very soon. So one of the sites, gosh, I'm not gonna guess. I can't recall, to be honest. One of them is already live. The other three, we're still waiting for permission to operate from SCE.
And we're expecting that in the next couple weeks.
Any day at this point. Everything has been submitted. They have all of our documents. They've had them for a couple of months in some cases. And yet SCE is just behind, because remember, a lot of districts, not only solar, but it wasn't only school districts, residential. There was a lot of, because of the IRA funding, everyone was trying to be grandfathered in for the NEM 2.0.
And the next iteration that Nelson was just referring to with the solar chargers, the timeline for that, you know, it's been a while since we talked about that.
So you'll have an update at the next board meeting. I can give you exact dates. I will then come prepared with that, if that's okay.
They're out in the parking lot though, at least.
Oh, they are. We're
I thought there were people at first when I looked at them.
Yeah.
we're very, we're close. We're very close.
All very exciting.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Thank you, Noemi.
And so let's take this and we'll comment
Yep.
about that. This, all in favor of 10.1.
Aye.
Aye.
And again, kudos and thank yous to the staff and the teachers at all the sites and the parents and the community. And to remind everybody why we had to do that, because I know a lot of community members have said, why on earth didn't you wait till next summer? Because you couldn't start first of all, let's back up. We're at the mercy of the Department of State Architecture, DSA. We are they are gods in our world, and anything we construct, we need their approval on, and they can come back and say, we gave you approval, but here's something else. So we're at their mercy. We were at their mercy for these projects, for the solar at all of the schools. We were supposed to have them done in the summer. DSA did not give us approval till it was too late to start in the summer. So why didn't we wait till the next summer? because of the IRA, the Inflation Reduction Act was going to give us something like 3.5 million back. If we got these done before the end of the year, which we did. So that's why we put everybody through so much heck, because we had to do this to make this make sense financially. So thank you all for bearing with us. Hopefully the shade is a little bit of solace and good news for the district that we're moving forward. Moving on, personnel 11.1, consider adoption of 2425.32, release of temporary certificated employees.
Give a motion.
Second?
You want to jump in there quick?
No.
Okay.
Customary.
This is customary. I guess my only question is, typically this is, I know it's due by March. I guess this is the last meeting before then. Is that what's happening?
Our next meeting is March 13th, and we do try to get these notices out prior, or by law, we have to get them out before March 15th.
Makes sense. This is a perfunctory issue. This is done every year as a precautionary measure. Sorry, we have to go through this, and hopefully it's moot. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Wow. Breaking time.
That's it, folks.
Breaking time.
Yeah, we had no presentations tonight, short of Maggie trying to cover for everyone. And thank you for that. Upcoming events, Dr. Silvers?
I think the one I highlighted earlier was the groundbreaking. And I guess I also highlighted aviation's open house is next week. That's March 5th on Wednesday. And then we do 2 successive Wednesdays after that for the other 2 schools. And our next board meeting is March 13th. So groundbreaking March 27th, et cetera.
Are the open houses earlier this year than
It
they
does
have
seem-
historically been?
Used to be, I
Is
thought
there
May, they were
a
usually
reason
May.
for that? Yeah, well, we had,
Winthrop is usually
It was
early.
early.
And then it
Winthrop was always
like
earlier,
months
yeah.
later that we'd have the others, as I remember.
Oh, they are May.
Oh, they are.
I'm sorry. So I misspoke.
yeah, aviation is.
Yeah. Okay. I should look at my calendar before I speak. So we're saying it's just the middle school was yesterday. We have aviation next week, and then we wait till May for the other 2.
Good deal.
Right.
All right, motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned, everybody. Good evening.